Okay, so I've had a look around and I have lots of bits and pieces. This is the corrugated card that I'm talking about. This was actually just packaging in, I don't know, some kind of package that I received in the post, but and you may have some, or you can rip apart some layers. So if you have some cardboard like this, just a normal piece of cardboard, you can actually loosen this top with a water spray gun and just start peeling it off so that you can see part of it and not part of it. Because what I want to do on this particular canvas is actually use the corrugated card and rip it up and tear the edges to actually put the pile, to organize the focus point of this canvas and the embellishments and the elements that I'm using. So I've got even a roll of mini chicken wire, which I may or may not use, but it's definitely there. I also have a toilet roll, which I've used for a lot of things, so it's sealed. I have a smaller one that's used from, I would think, I don't know, some sort of other thing that I've used. Look, this is actually lace that I've kept for so many years, and now I'm deciding to use it. And that was actually used on my wedding dress. And I've now been married for coming up 24 years this year, so that's 24 years old, and I thought that I could use some of that. I have some like felt coasters and trivets that you can all use as mark making tools. There's another one that's a placemat, but I've already used it for some jelly printing, and here's another one here that makes some great impressions either in moulding paste, or you can spray through it for a particular pattern over anything. The other thing that I collect, and I will be bringing these to the class, and I'll just pop some of this away so that we can see it. So I have some recycled jewellery. So in here I have things like this which we can pull apart. So you've got metal butterflies, and you may choose to leave them like that on yours and put them in at the end, or you may choose to gesso over them and make them something else entirely. There are some beautiful paper bead and lots of kind of bead jewelries, lots of individual big beads and things that can be added as elements. These I wouldn't paint because they're just beautiful the way they are. Nice great big beads and broken bits of jewelry, even feathers, which I just think are beautiful. I mean, have a look at that. It's got a beautiful metal butterfly, very simple, would work well. Some of these beads are just divine. We can cut these up with scissors and pull them apart and use them. And there's some broken bits and pieces with all sorts of things in it. So I collect these and use them in these sorts of creations. They come in extremely handy, and you need to kind of think to yourself, okay, well, what will I be using? See, that's got some great metal keys elements in it, and the chain. We're looking at the same sort of thing here where we've got some little charms. So if you've got a really old bracelet or something that you don't want to, that you don't wear anymore, and you think to yourself, yeah, I'm going to throw that out and have it as junk jewelry, bring it along. Go through all your old jewelry, and you know, where you've only got one earring of something and you've lost the other, or you know, you've got things that you just haven't cleaned out in a while. This is absolutely ideal for that particular sort of stuff. So I would definitely go through all those things and thinking about your canvas, and you may or may not use all of them. You may use none of them. It's completely up to you what you do use, but this is a canvas where you can use anything that's even particularly ugly. Like for me, that is butt ugly, but I never ever ever actually bought it for the purpose of using it as it is. I bought it for its texture, for the way that I can use it to use on a jelly plate and stamp with it and do all sorts of things like that with it. I also encourage you, if you've got stencils or anything like that, bring it along, because you never know what we can actually use. And I can show you, I'm familiar with just about every technique there is in the book. And you can definitely use anything for mark making tools. I have a mark making tool here, but you can use the same things like an old comb. You can use an old peg basket. We can use as scrapers. I recommend, this is in the toolkit, everybody brings at least one of these, because you will want to probably scrape paint over these in some kind of odd fashion. If you've got, I've got here, these are off some packaging for some washi tape, but they work really well as masks, so you may want to put them on there and then isolate those areas and spray everything else and not those, and then you can do something else with those particular areas. So it's really cool to just use whatever you've got on hand, and that can take the form of just about anything. So with this particular one, I'm just going to organize myself, clear a space on my crowded craft desk, as my crowded studio desk, as I've been talking to you and pulling all this stuff out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've finished this canvas now, and this is admittedly something a little bit more intricate than what we're going to do in the workshop. But I encourage you, for all the participants, to actually watch this video, because it will give you a few ideas. I tried to cover a lot of different dimensions and particular palette that I'm using, and different textures and items, just to give you an idea of the possibilities that are available in a project like this. So I've used some recycled jewellery and some packaging, and some old flowers and elements, a few moulds, some things from an old placemat, some chicken wire, a few stencils, a few sprays, a little bit of paint, and some hot glue. And I've used a couple of paint pens just to write the gratitude in at the end. And I tell you what, I'm loving it. It's going to go on my wall, but it's also going to be at the workshop to give you a little bit of inspiration while you're doing the workshop, and to understand a little bit how colours work together. I've done this in cool palettes, but I've also used purples, but I've used cool purples that go with cool colours. But I've also used highlights in gold, and I really love using gold to be able to accentuate elements on a canvas and highlight things. So join me on the 11th of October at Calvary Family Church on the corner of Rosalie and Lindale Streets in Shayla Park, southeast Queensland, from 9 a.m. Make sure you get there sharp, 9 a.m. to 12 midday. We may go over a little bit for those who are not finished on time. I do know that there are some people that need to leave smack on 12. You need to make sure that you bring your hair dryers. If you do not have a heat gun, that's the most important thing. You need to bring hair dryers, because the thing that will slow this project down will be drying time. So if you bring your hair dryers, it means we'll get these things dried a lot faster, and you are a lot more likely to walk out at the end of the day with a fully completed canvas. I also want to encourage you to bring some newspaper or scrap paper to use as drop sheets for you while you're working, but also if you have a canvas that's not quite wet and not quite dry and is a little bit tacky, then I encourage you to put it on a bed of newspaper on the floor of the boot of your car or in the back of your car, so that it will be protected and will not stick to anything. Okay, I'll see you there on the 11th of October at the Calvary Family Church Auditorium. I will be outside to welcome you all just before 9 o'clock. Make sure you bring your basic toolkits, and if you haven't got a basic toolkit, can you please contact me via the Facebook page on Missladypetal Creations, where the event is, or you can contact me at ladypetal@hotmail.com. I'll put the links to those in the description of this video, so that if you are missing anything, or you need a hand, or I need to provide some extra equipment for you, you contact me so that I make sure that we get a really nice, lovely, smooth workshop going. Okay, ciao for now, and see you on the 11th.